Hello, it's Glynis Howard. Currently, we're doing a little series on naps, how to change from 3 to 2 or 2 to 1, whatever it might be. Today, I'm going to talk about changing from 2 naps down to 1 nap. And I tend to find this is one of the harder transitions because it spans so many months. So you're looking at anywhere as early as 11 months through to even 18 months. So that's quite a few months in your baby's little life. So I just want to remind you that naps are quite important. Do your best to pop your baby in their bed when you can for their naps. They'll get a much deeper, more replenishing sleep, and they'll find sleep at bedtime at night a lot easier. Just think about naps like nutrition. We wouldn't just say, look, we're not having any lunch today because I'm busy. We're not having dinner either. So that's 2 meals we've missed. And you can just grab a bit of a biscuit. We'll get there. We'll always make sure that they're well fed. So just make sure when you can, as much as possible, that your baby is well napped, just like well fed. Okay, keep that. Really important thing. Okay, so let's think about a few things. I'm going to tell you when to notice that your baby is actually needing to go to 1 nap, what sort of things that you find happen, and there's a few different ones. And then step by step, how we're going to get through to getting that nap later and moving just to 1. Now, if your baby has been kicking up a fuss about one of the naps, particularly the afternoon one, she's either not wanting to go to sleep in the afternoon at all, just wailing on, and when things used to be perfect, it's just become a nightmare for at least 4 days in a row. Okay, sometimes they'll do it for a few days and then they'll just go back to sleeping beautifully. So obviously they're not ready then. So watch for that little one that's 11 months. That might just be a little hiccup and things will go back to normal. But if after 4 days you're just finding, no, this is a nightmare, then it's time to take some action. So it's mostly, as I said, that afternoon nap that becomes a nightmare. Some babies just lie there, they don't even cry, and you have a look on the camera or peek around the corner and you notice they've just been lying there for an hour just playing. So you know this isn't working. They're going to be really tired by bedtime. So it's time to take some action. Look, at times it can be that morning nap, and suddenly what happens is from having a beautiful 1.5 hour to 2 hour nap, they drop that nap down to 30 minutes. Which messes up the whole day. So then you've got a big period of time between that nap and the next one, and then they sleep really well in the afternoon and you almost have to wake them. So, it's all disrupted. So there's a few things to watch out for. Okay, so you've made that decision. You think, no, it's been 4 days, there's hecticness going on, it's not changing, you're going to make that break. So while you're in that early recognition period, it's now that you should take action. And the action is this. Just for half an hour, you're going to shift that nap later. Okay, so if your baby was going to go to sleep at 9:30, I want you to put your bub to bed at 10. So that's half an hour, and you're going to do that consistently for 3 days. When you get to the end of those 3 days, you're going to move that again by another half an hour. So then when it was 9:30, your bub will be going to bed at 10, and we do that for another 3 days. So you can see it's a gradual process until we're going to move baby's sleep to 11:30. Eventually we'll get to 12, but we might get to 11:30. I mean, from 9:30 to 11:30 is quite a long time to push them. So you can see they're going to be pretty grumpy. So make sure, when they get grumpy, firstly offer them a snack. Try and break that pattern. They do need that little bit of extra nutrition at that time, and just do your best to distract them until we can get them that little bit later. And then we've got to address the afternoon. So there's not going to be a nap in bed in the afternoon, but what you're going to do is you're going to take them out for a walk and see if they'll maybe have a short nap in the car or in the pram, and then you'll be bringing bedtime earlier to 6. It doesn't matter. Okay. We'll soon get that bedtime back to 7 as soon as this all settles down. But we're looking at a good 2-3 weeks for this to carry on. Okay, so ultimately you're going to get that bub down to 1 nap around about 11:30, 12. And then if they're having a short morning nap still at that late, you might have to offer them that little walk in the pram and get them to bed early. So just be patient with it. It is a big transition. Do your best just to make that decision and stick with that decision so that you're not as I said, flip-flopping between 1 and 2 because it just becomes too confusing for their little body clock. Okay, now if your bub does happen to fall into a deep sleep in the afternoon at some stage when you're going through this, just remember the rules around that. I think that they should really be awake by 4:30. Just open the blinds, give them a little tussle, rouse them if they happen to have just gone into a deep sleep one afternoon for some reason, so that you can keep them on schedule for their bedtime. That's going to happen less frequently now that you're moving to one nap, because that one nap, as I said, is going to be around about 12, and they more than likely will do about 1.5 to 2 hours once this is all settled. Look, some babies will do 3.5, which is incredible, but they all have a different amount of sleep that they need. And I do notice that in the beginning of this transition, the nap drops back and is a little bit shorter. It's a tough time. They're falling asleep in their dinner. It's all over the place. Just be with them for those few months. They'll get through it, and they'll be having this beautiful one nap a day. Predictably, you can get out in the morning, bring them home, give them their lunch early, 11 o'clock, give them their lunch, that's fine. And then have their lovely big nap, and then you can go out to the park in the afternoon or meet some friends and do your shopping, whatever you have to do. It actually is a really magic time with your bub. Okay, I hope that's been helpful.